y'all, welcome back to another episode of Ink and Overalls. I'm Dedra, your host, and I'm so glad that you're back here with me today. Today, I wanted to do something kind of fun. I just thought it would be interesting. I asked my kids, I've got 4 kids, ages 4 all the way to 13, and I asked each of them to write down a question about homesteading for me. And they all did, except, well, the 4-year-old had help, but I've not seen these. I don't know what these things say, okay? So, we're just going to start with this one. I think this one is Lizzie's, I think. Lizzie is 11. What is your favorite simple meal to make? That was her question. Okay. My favorite simple meal. That's a very hard question. Actually, I know what it is. My favorite simple meal is, like a hash, basically. So, ground beef or ground pork, whatever you got, like brown it up in a skillet, and then take it out, let it drain on a paper towel, whatever. And then I like to dice up some potatoes. I like using red potatoes, and if that's the case, I don't even peel them. And I just dice them up till they're about the size of my pinky finger, like the first knuckle, like that, like little, so that they brown quick, because, potatoes take a while to cook. So then I'll put them down in the skillet where I browned the meat, and I'll let them cook. You can add a little bit of water to them if they kind of want to stick. And, of course, a little bit of oil or whatever, lard, whatever you want to use. And get those browned up, okay, and season them, of course. You've got to season potatoes. You got to season your meat, too, with whatever you like. Salt, pepper. I like seasoning salt, lemon pepper. I use a little bit of everything. Herbs, whatever you've got on hand, whatever your family likes. Season your meat when you cook it. Then season your potatoes while they're cooking. Put your meat back in and stir it up, and it's a meal. And then I like to make, you can, if you've got some frozen veggies, or if you've got, something fresh or whatever you want to have with it, steam some broccoli, or roast some broccoli, green beans, whatever, just as a side, and you've got a meal in no time, and it doesn't mess the kitchen up, and it's pretty much, all from scratch, really easy. So that's probably my easiest, my favorite simple meal to make. Because we almost always have ground beef or ground pork, and we almost always have potatoes. So, and everybody likes it. It's a good, fun way to fill bellies, fast, and little cleanup at the end. So, that would be my answer for that one. Okay. Here's my 13-year-old. If you had 1 month to prepare for a zombie apocalypse, what are you doing? 1 month to prepare. Okay, so I'm guessing I can't leave, so I have to bunker down here. So I'm thinking 1 month, perimeter fence on my property to keep people out. Of course, stockpile some stuff. As far as like animal feed and stuff like that. I'd be thinking about what I can do as far as whenever my supplies run out, right? Make sure you got plenty of seed. Plenty of fuel, but that's all going to run out. See, this kind of thing is hard because you're not preparing for temporary stuff. When you're preparing for a zombie apocalypse, right? It's going to be a permanent situation. Obviously, ammunition, right? And some, pew-pews. I can't say the word on YouTube. Plenty of that. Some type of water filtration that doesn't require electricity or anything like that. Some type of setup, but mostly like really and truly a perimeter fence and the means to protect my place, because I think that the rest would come with just like time and just resourcefulness. Because we don't have like a huge stockpile. Like I would stockpile a few things, but that's the kind of situation where you want like your herb garden to really have what you're going to need in the case of like an illness, or you've got, that's kind of not that I'm literally preparing for a zombie apocalypse. This is completely hypothetical, but really when we think about preparedness, the best option is to equip yourself. Obviously, if you're able financially and you've got the place, build a whole bunker if you want, but in my opinion, we've always kind of leaned more towards, preparedness in the area of skills that we have. So in other words, being skilled and able to do what we need to do when if and when the time ever came that we were in a situation that you could even begin to call apocalyptic. Obviously, with the devastation that we've seen in the U.S. this year, with so many natural disasters, people who have really gone through their day of apocalypse almost, I'm sure it seemed for a lot of them. It definitely stays on your mind, but I think we can't live in fear, even, because like we could, who knows, there may be something coming a month down the road. That we can't see it. We don't know. But, when it comes to, like I said, for preparedness, as far as that's concerned, I mean, yeah, we buy in bulk, and we always have, pretty stored pantry that I could pull from for a while, but nothing like permanent. Like if if everything was gone tomorrow, we'd all just kind of be left with exactly what we've got. And that's going to be when, honestly, the knowledge and the skills you've acquired, that's when that comes in clutch. Like you've got to have, like that's what's going to make the long run. The supplies are going to run out. Having the skills to persevere and to be resourceful and use what's in front of you and grow food and harvest meat and things like that you have to do. Those really, I feel like those are where we feel that our time is best invested when it comes to preparedness. Now, we're currently working on a list of some things because everything that happened, in light of all the things that happened this year, we did take a look at our actual emergency preparedness and what we could do to make that better. And so we're working towards some things. We've got a list of some things we want to put in place around here, like what's the word I'm looking for? Like actually like functional, tangible things that are pretty obvious, like having a good source of fuel and a generator and, a water supply and stuff like that. Those are all obvious things, but I really do feel like where homesteading really comes in, like even if you're not a prepper, because I don't consider us to be preppers by any stretch of the imagination. I feel like as homesteaders, preparedness is really just something, it's just another notch in our belt, right? It's just part of what we're doing. Because when you know how to do things for yourself and you know how to do things with your own hands and you know how to work with what you have, you've got a downed tree. Not only do you know how to remove it and get it away from where it fell, but you can take that wood and do something with it. It may not look perfect, but you can do it. I think all of that is like, those are really the skills. That's where homesteading, that's why we get tied up with prepping a lot, because I feel like our whole life is leading up to that situation, right? We all want, I don't like the word self-sufficiency. I like community sufficiency and community involvement when it comes to an ultimate goal in the world we live in now. But all that to say, I don't think we'll have any zombie apocalypses coming anytime soon. But if we did, probably securing my place would be step one for me. And that's because I feel like everything else could fall into place. Obviously, there would be some other things, but definitely would prioritize protecting our home. Question number 3. Okay, this one is from my little one, my 4-year-old. How do you pay for the goat's feed? That's an excellent question. So right now, obviously, that's our feed bill. A feed bill is something you've always got on a homestead, right? Something that you have to think about and something that does not go away and often gets bigger at certain times of the year. The way that our stuff fluctuates, right now I'm feeding some meat birds that are hopefully going to be off of our tab this weekend. So by the time you see this, hopefully I'm no longer feeding 50 meat birds. And we've got one pig that's growing out that'll be off of our feed bill, and a couple probably in about 6 weeks. But other than that, yeah, everything right now is at our lowest numbers that it'll be. And then when spring comes, when we have goat kids being born, we start milking, probably have some chicks and different things like that, our feed bill goes up. And so it fluctuates during the year. This year has been one of the worst years as far as trying to sell our goat kids. We had 6 goat kids born. 5 of them were female and 1 was a male. Usually you don't have any issue getting rid of little female goats. They're cute. They're, people want them for their herds, but this year was a nightmare. And I don't know if it was, I think it was mostly the economy. People, with grocery bills so high, you don't want to think about, having to also pay a feed bill too every week or every month or whatever. So I think that's one thing that deterred people this year. I advertised in the local market bulletin with family and friends, and it took forever. And I still have 3 of them. And that really, really hurts because usually I can sell kids between selling the goat kids and then selling goat's milk soap and things like that. I can usually help pad that feed bill some so that it doesn't feel quite so painful every time that I go and purchase anything. And every little bit does help. A lot of times if I've got chickens constantly laying, if I can sell eggs, that helps with their feed bill. Ideally it would be, that everybody earns their keep, right? But of course that's not, I have found that to not be very realistic. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people who can do it, and there's businessy ways of doing things. But not around here, partner. It just seems like I've always got a feed bill coming up. But we try to, feed them the best food for them that we can at a reasonable price. We don't feed organic feed around here. It's very, very hard to come by. Very hard. I mean, I can't really name a place right now where I could just go out and buy a 50-pound bag of organic goat feed. That just doesn't exist around here. But it may not be organic, but the place that I use for our feed, the bulk of our feed, is really, I guess it's all of it now, is a meal that's just over, it's in the state. So I try to keep it local as possible and use local people, small businesses, and support them by buying our feed locally and, buying it where it's made as close to home as possible. Because I'm that does decrease the carbon footprint. It helps with my availability. It's helping local people stay with jobs. And so that's kind of where we've fallen on that end of the spectrum as of right now. It's a personal thing. It's just the way that we find works for us. But yeah, so in a perfect world, all of my efforts of making goat's milk soap and trying to raise and sell goat kids, because that's part of it. You have to have goat kids to have dairy. I don't just go and breed them just to make more babies, because I know the population doesn't need that, but it is a necessary thing when you have dairy goats. And so we have goat kids. Usually we're able to kind of sell those, able to, sell some chicks, able to, whenever the season's right, able to bring income into the farm with some things that we do that does help offset the cost of feed for our animals. And we try to not keep more animals than we need. That's one reason it was driving me crazy whenever we couldn't find good homes for the goat kids, because we were feeding them because, they've got to eat. As long as they're here, they're going to be fed. They're going to be cared for. Obviously, that's my responsibility. But, because I couldn't get rid of them, it's you're just sitting here and your feed bill, they're growing. So it's just going up and up and up and up. And so it's definitely something to consider anytime that you think of homesteading. You think of all these animals and they make everything beautiful, but they are a lot of work and they do cost money to take care of. And, that's just the way it is for most of us. Now, some people have systems in place that definitely can greatly offset their costs with different things. Whenever I do free range my chickens, and that helps offset their feed costs some. I give my pigs lots of kitchen scraps and things like that helps offset their feed bill some. And when I'm milking, they get milk that we don't need, or that's, going a little bit longer than I wanted it to in the fridge. So they'll get that. Garden waste, things like that. So where we can, we try. But overall, yeah, it stinks, but animals have to eat. And so right now we pay for the goat's feed just with the money that pays for our feed. That's the money my husband makes at his job. But like I said, I do try. I'm always trying to think and do things to help offset the cost. I would love, I mean, honestly, if everything I did as far as making salves and tinctures and all of that just helped like break even on our feed bill and taking care of the animals and any purchases we need to make every year, I would feel like I was balling for real. But right now, it is what it is. I do what I can. All right, so the last one is from my 8-year-old Alice. Oh my goodness. If someone wants to plant a seed, but don't have a place to plant it, what do they do? That's a beautiful question. And so, I mean, as I'm saying all of this, I know how it feels to be someone who wants to plant that seed, wants to have the garden, wants to do all the things, and wants to, move away from a hectic lifestyle, but not really feeling like you can yet. And this is where, if someone wants to plant a seed and they don't have anywhere to put it, I say learn how to plant seeds and learn how to read a seed catalog and to, and think about what you want to do and think about, dream big and learn while you can, where you can. Because if you don't have anything, I mean, yeah, like logically, if you've got, if they don't have a place, they could, if they don't have anywhere but say a patio, I mean, you can get a green stalk, or you can get some grow bags, or you can get some pots and put some stuff in there, if you have a small backyard, you can do some raised beds, you can do whatever. But I think, what I really pulled from that question is honestly just, I mean, if you want to plant a seed right now and you don't have a place to plant it, learn how to plant seeds. Learn as much as you can about gardening. Learn as much as you can about the kind of animals you want to surround yourself with on your homestead someday. Start learning how to can. Learn how to, those seeds grow into things. So learn how to cook from scratch. Learn how to, make something with fresh veggies. Learn how to tell whenever they're ready to be harvested and what you're going to do with them. Dream and try not to get discouraged while you're in the hallway waiting for a door to open. Keep your dream alive and just learn what you can, because that's time that you can save when you do find that place. Whenever your dreams do start to come true, you've got that knowledge already that you can start acting on and using, instead of, hold on, let me pause and learn how to do this. No, it's like, oh, I've got it in here. Now it's time to put my hands to it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I guess that's my advice there, is if you don't have a place to plant it, still learn how to plant a seed. Do it. Think about it. Dream about it. And don't give up. Do what you can where you are. Like I said, if you got a small backyard, start a little bitty, do a 4x4 raised bed and see you'll be surprised the things you can grow in there. If you've got, a patio and you're able to purchase a green stalk, you can grow tons of stuff in those things. Or if you're not, grow bags are extremely affordable. Get you a few of those, but whatever. Try something and put your hands to something. And if you can't do that, if you literally have no options, just learn anyway. Just do it anyway. So, all right, guys. Well, this is a short episode, but of course last week was a really heck of a long one, so I guess I'm giving you a break this week, and then you have 2 more weeks to catch up on anything that you haven't seen. If you've missed any episodes, our seed course was like 3 episodes long, and I call it a course because it's kind of what it is. I mean, like, you can start with the first one and watch them, and you'll be ready to start some seeds for your garden, if that's what you're wanting to do this year. And if it's not, I still encourage you to watch them, and you may change your mind. And yeah, so y'all just start dreaming about spring. This is your homework for the next 2 weeks. I want you to think about where you want to see your garden go this year. If you don't have one, how are you going to start one? Where are you going to grow at? Or are you just going to start learning? What are you going to do? And how can we proceed together? What can we do together in the new year? How can we make our homesteads better in 2025 than they are right now? Where can we go next? And I'm excited to see. I want to see what your ideas are, and I want us to get there together if possible, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. So, Comment down below, like, share, subscribe. If you like this video, tell a friend. All the views and all the shares and likes, they all mean so much to me. They all count, and I see them all, and I appreciate them all. And that you find time to be cozy, you find time to find joy and find beauty wherever you are. And I will talk to you in the next episode. I can't wait to see you again. Thanks. Bye.
What is your favorite simple meal to make?
Okay.
Okay, if you have 1 month to prepare for a zombie apocalypse, what are you doing?
How much you pay for the goat feed?
All right.
If someone wants to plant a seed but don't have a place to plant it, what do they do?
And again.
And again.